Good morning, lovely Year Sixes, and a very happy Friday to you. It's so nearly the weekend, and well done for your fantastic work this week. You have worked so hard. I know it's not the easiest way to learn maths, but you really have challenged yourself, and your attitude to your learning from home has been fantastic. So thank you for sharing with me all your work, and thank you for your hard work. It really is very impressive. Today, you might be taking some more time to go back over some ratio things that we've learnt this week, because I know that's a new topic. So if that's you and you still need to do some more ratio work, email me any questions you've got and just keep going over some of those questions until you're secure with that knowledge. And if you're still not, that's okay. We'll keep going through those things. If you are ready to move on, we are going to do another little activity today. But if you're still doing ratio, you can still watch this video and it will get you ready for angles, which is what we're doing next week. So today is just going to be a recap of what we already know about angles. First of all, we're going to have a little look at the types of angles. So hopefully these are things you're quite confident with because you've been doing them for a long time. So I have just made a little poster of the types of angles. So firstly, we've got acute angles. So these are less than 90 degrees. And remember, when we have these angles, they could be drawn in any direction. So I've drawn them in lots of different ways. So you know that it's about measuring the angle, not the direction they're facing. So an acute angle is less than 90 degrees. We remember that by it being small and cute. So it's less than 90 degrees. Obtuse angles are more than 90 degrees, but less than 180. So I've drawn an example there. And then we've got reflex angles, which are greater than 180. We've then got our right angles. I've drawn a couple in different directions. So you can see that it's about 90 degrees. So right angles are 90 degrees. It doesn't matter which way they're facing, but they have to be 90 degrees. And they are annotated with a little square. And then you've got the angles on a straight line, which are 180 degrees. So they are our types of angles. Okay, just to carry on with our types of angles, we're also just going to have a little look at the degrees. So if we've got 360 degrees, and lots of people think about this on a scooter, or if you're doing a gymnastics move, they talk about 360 degrees of turn. So that would be a full turn. If I started this way, turned all the way around and came back to facing this way, a full turn is 360 degrees, and that's also the angles around a point. So if this is my point here and I go all the way round, all of those angles would add up to 360 degrees. And it is also the total of the angles in a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is a four-sided shape. That word quad means four. We've then got 180 degrees, and that would be a half turn. So 180 degrees is a half turn. Also the angles on a straight line, like we've already said about, it's also two right angles put together. So you've got those two 90 degrees. And it is also, if you added all of the angles up in a triangle, they would also add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so take your time to think about those two. We've got 360, our full turn, and the angles in a quadrilateral and around a point. And then you've got 180 degrees, which is half a turn, or the angles on a straight line, and the total of the angles in a triangle. We've then got 90 degrees, which is a quarter turn. So you would have 4 quarter turns in a full turn, and it's a right angle. So it's a quarter of a turn for 90 degrees. We've then got three quarters of a turn, which would be 270 degrees. So if you turned from here, and then you've got one right angle, another one, and another one here. So you've gone 3 quarters of the way around. That would be 270 degrees, made up of 3 right angles. And then I've just got some diagrams down the bottom that shows that the angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. The angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees, and the angles around a point add up to 360 degrees. So just take a look at these types of angles and see if it's bringing back any memories. had a look at our types of angles, and the way we measure angles is using a protractor or an angle measurer. We're not going to go into that in too much detail because we did it before you went to your home learning, and also not everyone is going to have a protractor. So we're going to move on to having a look at missing angles. So we're going to really think about what we already know. That's a really important message I want you to take. Think about those types of angles and our angle facts, and that's what's going to help us calculate our missing angles. So we are going to have a little look at missing angles. So we're going to do this firstly on a straight line, and then we're going to have a look at angles around the point. So the first thing I would like you to do whenever you see your missing angles that you need to calculate is think about what facts do I already know. If I look at this angle here, I know that it's not drawn to scale, so I can't use my protractor or angle measurer to measure it. So I need to make sure that I'm doing some sort of calculating. And what I already know is that on this straight line, all of these angles added together total 180 degrees. So 24 degrees plus 39 degrees plus our A, all of them together are going to make 180 degrees because I know the angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. This now helps me because I've got a number sentence that I can write. 24 plus 39 plus A equals 180. And this A is the same as having a missing number box. So A just means an unknown amount. I can then treat it like it's a missing number sentence. So I'm going to add up what I already know. So I'm going to do 24 plus 39 to add up these two angles here. I've managed to do this in my head because I know that 39 is 1 away from 40, so I can do 24 plus 40 or plus 4 tens, so that's 64, and then I need to take away my 1 that I added on to get to 40, so I've got 63. So I now know that 63 plus A, or 63 plus my missing number, whatever this is here, is equal to 180 degrees. I've now got a number sentence that I can solve. I need to do the inverse, because this plus this equals 180 degrees. So this is going to be my largest number because they're both positive numbers. So I need to do 180 subtract 63. I'm going to take these two away from my 180, and what I'll be left with is this here, my missing amount, my A. So if I do 180 subtract 63, I need to add 7 on to get to 70, 17 on to get to 80, and then add another 100, so I've got 117. So my A equals 117 degrees. And I could go back and check that. I could cross out my A and put 117 degrees and check that 24 plus 117 plus 39 equals 180 degrees. With my second question, now I could do this in exactly the same way. I could add up what I already know and subtract them from 180. I could do that, but I know, because I'm thinking what facts do I already know, there is going to be a quicker way for me to do this. I know that because this is a square, it is a right angle, and on my straight line, I know that 2 right angles make up 180 degrees, and I've got 1 already, so the other side must also be 90 degrees. So now I know that 47 plus B equals 90 degrees, because I've got 1 right angle here, and I know to get to 180 I'd need another right angle. So these 2 angles must add up to 90 degrees. So now I could look at my part 2. I don't need to add up the angles. I've sort of taken that step away, and I've already got my missing number sentence. 47 plus something is equal to 90 degrees. So now I can look at my inverse. I need to do 90 subtract 47, and I'm going to try and do this in my head. I know that 3 would take me to my next 10, which would be 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 43 degrees. So I know that B is equal to 43 degrees. I would have got the same answer. If I did 90 plus 47 and subtracted it from 180, I still would have got the same answer, which is fantastic. You followed the process, but I really want you to think about every time, what facts do I already know, so that you can work out the quickest, most efficient method to calculate your missing angles. And the final question we're going to do with calculating the missing angles is with angles around the point. So I still want you to ask yourself the question, what do I already know? What do we know about angles around the point? I know that angles around the point add up to a total of 360 degrees. I know that there are two angles without values, but I know that because there's a little square, that bit means 90 degrees, so I can even put that in to help me. And now I've got one missing angle, so I need to add up all of the angles I already know, and that's my first job. So you can work this out in whichever way is best for you. You might want to do it in column addition, or you might be able to do it mentally in your head. I would say think about which ones you could do already. So I've got 191 with these two here, and then I could add my 64 and my 23, and I could add them up. So I've got 1 plus 4 plus 3 is 8. I've then got in my tens column 9 tens plus 6 tens is 15 tens, 16, 17 tens. So that would be 7 in my tens and 100. And then I've got 100 plus 100 is 200. So I now know that the total of all the angles that I know already, now we've added them all together, is 278 degrees. I now need to think about what the total would be of the whole circle, the whole way around the point. I know that would be 360 degrees. And if I subtract all of the other ones, what I'll be left with is the value of C. So I can do 360 degrees subtract 278. This might be something you could do in your head. You might want to do it using your column subtraction. And then I know that what is left is going to be my C, my unknown value, which is 82 degrees. I can put that in here and I can check. I could add all of these up and check that that comes to 360 degrees. If it doesn't, that's fine. It just means I've made a mistake somewhere and I might need to go back and check. So that is all we're going to do on angles today. We're going to carry on with angles next week and learn some new information about them and do some different activities. Well done for your hard work this week. You really have been fantastic. If this is enough for you today, that is absolutely fine. You can stop here, you can chill, do your other topic activities, and you have worked so hard with maths this week. If you want to go away and do some more ratio work now, that's also fine. If you want to redo any lessons, do some extra questions, go for it. If you'd like to create an angles poster, a bit like the types of things that I was doing just to remind myself, you could do that. So do what's best for you. I know it's been hard, you just had 2 weeks Easter holidays and now you're going back to your learning. So do what's best for you and well done for your hard maths this week, and I will see you very soon.